Welcome to MusicMoveIt.com, and today I would like to discuss selling tickets to your own shows. In other words, when you get a show to perform live, but the promoter of the show wants you to sell your own tickets. Now, for years, there's been, backlash over this, that artists don't want to sell tickets because they feel it's stupid or it's just a pain in the butt, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm going to look at both sides of this. I understand from the artist's point of view, especially if you don't have a huge fan base, that you just don't want to try to sell tickets because it's a hassle, or you feel like you're pimping tickets to your fans or something. I've heard that said before many times, but I don't know. I see it. I see how you wouldn't want to do it, but it's kind of a win-win if you look at it, because if you have the fan base, you should have no problem selling tickets. Plus, you get some of the money from the tickets. So, not only are you bringing in people, but you do get a small cut of the tickets. It all comes down to if you have a fan base or not. Not all artists, but I notice a lot of the artists that complain, they just don't have a fan base. That's why it's so hard to sell these tickets. If you have a fan base, it shouldn't be so tough. You know what I mean? But there are popular artists that feel like they shouldn't do it either. So I guess it just depends. Now look at it from the show manager, or the promotions manager that's throwing the show. They take a lot of risk bringing in these new artists to open for another big act or whatnot. And they want to make sure you can also draw a crowd. They don't just want to put somebody up that's going to suck. If you're going to do a show, they want you to bring people in. That's how they see it. And of course, they are giving you some of the money for the ticket. And then, obviously they get more people to come to the show. So, that's kind of their side of it. Yes, it kind of does suck in general to have to sell tickets to your own show. But if you're an upcoming artist, it's kind of like paying dues, the way I see it. And like I said before, if you have a fan base, it should be no problem anyway. So if you complain about it, maybe it's because you don't have fans, and that's understandable. There's nothing wrong with that. But build your fan base up, and then start doing these shows so you can sell the tickets and make a little bit of money off of it. That's kind of one way to look at it, but I've been there myself. In the beginning, when I started doing shows, I hated trying to sell tickets because my fan base wasn't quite there yet. I had to go to family, friends, and it's just like you feel weird, and you're like, eh. But it could be a good thing if you can sell those tickets with fans and bring them in, and then you get a little cut off the top in the back end. So, I don't know. It's not such a bad thing. It's kind of logical, but it just depends on you, I guess. If you don't like doing that type of thing, then try to find shows that don't force you to do that, but it's going to be free. A lot of times you won't get paid for that stuff unless you have a huge fan base already, and you could bring in a crowd on your own just by name. So another thing I never really liked, but I understand kinda, is these promoters would give you the tickets to sell, and then the one who sold the most tickets went on last. Of course, when most of the people are in the club or wherever, that's, if you go on last, that's when most people are there to see a show, because people generally don't come early, they come later. And the person who sold the least tickets, and this has happened to me before, always went on first. And there were a few times in the beginning when I first started doing shows that I sold like 1 or 2 tickets, and I had to go on first at like 7:30, and there was literally like 20 people in the whole place that I had to perform to. And that's when I hated it, because I realized to me, I don't have a fan base, so selling tickets sucks. So once I grew my fan base, and once I started selling tickets with a fan base, it was easy. Just put it up on social media. Look, I have a show coming up. Get your tickets here now. And I started making a little bit more money off of it because the promoters do give you some of the money. So it just depends. It depends on, just look at it from the promoter view. And it all boils down to you just having fans. You got to build your fan base. It's important. You also must do shows. It's extremely important. So build your fan base, and it won't be so hard to do that. Now, if you want more excellent tips on how to release an album, visit www.yourmusicrelease.com. You can pick up our ebook. It's an instant download. Excellent advice on how to release an album from start to finish. You'll love it. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be putting out a lot more videos with tips and advice, and you're going to love it. So subscribe now, and we shall see you soon. Thank you.